Good morning. Welcome to another day of yoga philosophy and self-study through the Bhagavad Gita and another day of Navaratri. Yay! Um, Today's color for Navaratri, which means 9 nights of celebrating the divine feminine in all her glory, especially as she starts to turn colors. The color of the day is gray. Gray is supposed to symbolize, in this context, being down to earth. And it's not merely about you wearing the color for your benefit, but it's said if you wear these colors on these days, other people also get the benefit of these qualities. Now, being down to earth, I think, is one of the most important aspects on the spiritual path. And we see it in the Bhagavad Gita. Let's talk a moment about that. We're going to do verses 1039 and the first half of 1040. If you happen to have your book with you, or if not, of course you can listen. I invite you just to, if you're flipping to that page, get to it, or to settle in. And if you're listening, maybe even close the eyes so that you can focus fully. This is Krishna at the end of a chapter where he's described to Arjuna all the things that he contains. So Krishna says, I am, as we've talked about, I am death. I am the beginning of all that is. And then he's all these other wonderful things, like of all the mountains, he is the highest mountain. Of all the waters, he is the ocean, and he's just fabulous. And he's also the Khan of con artists. And he's relaying this matter of factly, and Arjuna is kind of going, oh, my cousin. I just thought of you as my cousin and my best friend. Holy cow. So here in verse 39 of chapter 10, Krishna is kind of wrapping all this up with some grand statements, and I'll be chanting them. And whatsoever is the seed of every being that I am, O Arjuna, there is nothing inert or moving without me. Whoops, I apologize. Let's try 1040. Scorcher of foes, there is no end to my celestial glories. So, these qualities of Krishna could make him unapproachable if he leaned into them. And every time you went to visit him, perhaps, or Arjuna went to visit him, Krishna said, I am the beginning of everything and the end of all that is. I could just erase you right now with the flick of my little finger. But Arjuna's amazed because Krishna in all this time he's revealed some of these qualities, but he's never flaunted them. I mean, he's done some amazing things, but he stayed true to his roots. When he was young, he was a cowherd. He helped the other cow herders. He played with them. He was adopted. He grew up in a rural village instead of being acknowledged for the prince that he was. And when he became prince, he still, he had that down to earth quality. He could relate to people. And I think that's one of the reasons he's so darn popular. And as I chanted that and I made that mistake, I thought, oh no, they can see my imperfections. And then I thought, well, oh my gosh, this fits with the theme. The idea that I am not perfect. And I wouldn't even consider myself highly spiritual developed. I'm definitely working on that path. I think of people I've seen on spiritual paths, on any path of life, where suddenly they develop this, I don't know if arrogance is too strong a word, but maybe overconfidence, overvaluing themselves, or seeing themselves as somehow becoming fundamentally better than others. This is a pitfall on the spiritual path. I practice spirituality every day. I am better than those who do not. And that's kind of counter to the path. It's when we don't value others and they can sense that, I, I think it makes us a little less approachable, and people maybe don't want to be around us so more if we go down that road. I invite you to think about that today as you go about your business. What kind of vibes are you giving off? Are you giving off the I must present myself as superior and demonstrate that as much as I can and maybe even hit people on the head with it? Or I'm a person. I'm like other people. My life circumstances have helped create who I am, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, that's something to think about today. And I'm going to dedicate today's practice to Machine Gun Kelly, who is a Clevelander, and I've seen him live doing things, and I haven't interacted with him personally though, but I know people who have. He's a very famous singer. If you're not familiar, like if you're not from this neck of the woods or don't listen to that particular genre, but I've heard from people that he is extremely down to earth, friendly, and nice, and that means a lot to how people connect to him. So I also want to extend warm wishes to anybody traveling to Cleveland. It's a big weekend here, um, and especially to Judson, Anjali, and family. Good luck with your endeavors here. Cleveland is one of those places that doesn't toot its own horn. Well, others don't toot its horn either, but I think it's really a wonderful place. And if you ever get a chance to visit, I encourage you to do so. All right, let's get to our practice, which, as you notice, is a pretty down to earth practice. It's not standing on our heads, unless you want to, go for it. Or standing on our hands or meditating for 2 hours. Here we go. One round of a balance pose. I'm so tall. There we go. Switch. Coming back for our contemplation. When we try to be something we're not, like we think, oh, I have to really be special and show people how special I am, it puts a lot of pressure on us and it can drain us. Um, oh, there that is, Deb. Thanks for letting me know. Bright light on my shoulder. Um, and that's another part of the spiritual path, is being willing to take off the facades and let people see you as you are, your wonderful self, just you. So for the next 5 minutes, I invite you to contemplate maybe how today you can really make the effort to just be yourself, be a human being with all our flaws and fabulousness. Welcome back. Thank you for joining. May you have a wonderful down-to-earth day, and Cathy especially, may your plane come back down to earth safely. We'll check in again tomorrow. Until then.